heroes. It's an old-fashioned notion. But the world can still use them.
Ready.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
We destroyed Thanos. But it's not over.
My work is inevitable. There will always be more to finish it.
This is just the beginning. She tore a hole in space. There's a different reality leading into ours.
What are you prepared to do?
I'm invincible.
Your powers only make me stronger.
She can't be matched. Can't be controlled. I'm asking for one last fight.
Monica!
You cannot protect your people.
But you can stand tall without standing alone.
They're here.
The Marvels, rated PG-13.
Uh-oh.
Monica, you gotta fly.
No.
Black girl magic.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel just released another trailer for The Marvels. There's a bunch of X-Men teasers, a bunch of teasers for another version of Captain Marvel, like a whole other universe in this, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. I'll be posting my review of the movie on Wednesday when they let us do that. Then my post-credit scene video should be up on Friday, and then my full breakdown Easter eggs this weekend. So be sure to go see the movie when you get a chance. Some of you probably spotted the X-Men teaser during this trailer, but the other thing is the director of the movie, Nia DaCosta, legit said that she actually pitched Marvel on directing an X-Men movie with Storm and Cyclops, like a team-up movie with the two of them. So it just goes to show you how much X-Men stuff kind of went into the making of this movie.
I really like Scott Summers and Storm together. Their dynamic as like fighting over who should be the head of the X-Men has always been really fun for me to read, like in the Chris Claremont run. So I think some sort of like Scott Storm team-up movie would be fun.
That doesn't mean that Cyclops and Storm are going to appear in this movie. That just means that before she directed the Marvels movie, she had wanted to make a Cyclops Storm team-up movie. For the most part, they lean really heavily on the whole Avengers of it all, like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, a bunch of Avengers Endgame footage at the beginning here with Nick Fury's voiceover from the original Avengers movie when he's talking about heroes, old-fashioned notion. That was part of his big rally speech during the first Avengers movie because he's trying to call on new Avengers in this movie. Like, we're starting to see them reference the new version of the Avengers team slowly in the background. We're starting to get pretty close to Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty. We need a new version of the Avengers team to actually form, so they have to actually start referencing it in some of these movies. There's way more voiceover dialogue from the Avengers movies in this too, from all the different Avengers characters. When Captain Marvel is talking about Thanos, like, we destroyed Thanos, but it's not over, that's actually new voiceover dialogue, probably from the Marvels movie. When he's talking about there will always be more to finish my work, that was actually in one of the last trailers. It's like unused voiceover dialogue that was supposed to be in Avengers Endgame, kind of like a deleted scene from that movie. But the way they're using his scene in this trailer is to reference Dar Ben using her Miss Marvel bangle, like the other bangle that she's been looking for this whole time. And that's meant to dovetail with Monica Rambeau talking about opening a hole to another universe. Like, there's another universe bleeding into ours. That gets into the whole idea of the incursions that we're going to see go down during this movie. They started to reference this during Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, where Reed Richards was basically explaining to Doctor Strange incursions are when two different universes collide, destroying one or both of them at the same time. And the whole idea is that in the lead up to Avengers 6 Secret Wars, we're going to see all the remaining universes start to collide with each other. Like, it's slowly happening in the background now with different characters being responsible for them. Like, Doctor Strange caused his own incursion that they referenced at the end of that movie.
You caused an incursion, then we're gonna fix it.
Deadpool 3 is meant to be kind of like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. He's going to probably cause a bunch of incursions during that, literally and metaphorically destroying the Marvel Universe. Oops. But so far, we haven't really seen too much of that in the Marvel movies so far. We saw a little teaser for it during Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania, where you saw Kang the Conqueror's history in him destroying different timelines. That also combines the idea of the incursions with the Kang Multiverse War, which we'll see culminate during Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty. I did a Loki Season 2 deleted scene video recently too when the season started because they revealed a bunch of deleted storylines and scenes that feature another version of the Kang Multiverse War that we would have gotten during Loki Season 2, but they decided to save that for Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty because they wanted to do an Avengers level version of that. And the version that we would have seen during Loki Season 2 was way smaller with way fewer characters, like way fewer Avengers characters. When they start talking about Dar-Benn using her bangle, making universes collide with each other, like opening holes through different universes, they show one of her ships in front of this sun. There's later footage of Captain Marvel flying through the sun, going full binary. I think that's what we're seeing in the movie. She'll actually go full binary. There's actually a funny story behind the creation of the binary character in the comics. Like when Captain Marvel turned into binary, Chris Claremont, who famous X-Men writer obviously, was in the middle of writing an Uncanny X-Men storyline. That's where Miss Marvel, she was named Miss Marvel at the time, turned into binary for the first time. He said that he created the binary form for the character because they weren't allowed to use the Phoenix at the time, and he wanted to use the Phoenix in his X-Men storyline. So Miss Marvel binary was meant to be kind of like the stand-in for that character. Then kind of became a bigger thing for a little while in different comics until they transitioned her back to the Miss Marvel role. I know because they're teasing all this X-Men stuff and all the different Marvels trailers, everybody's hoping to see Rogue versus Captain Marvel. They actually covered that storyline during X-Men the Animated Series, and it was an adaptation of the comic book version of the story where Rogue basically got her powers to fly by stealing Captain Marvel's powers, basically siphoning off the ability from her. It wasn't her taking the ability to fly from her, like she didn't take that power from her, she just sucked so much of her power that it made her powerful enough to fly. My assumption is they're going to wait a while before you actually see those characters meet on screen. Like, it's not going to happen right away. And I don't know if we're going to see Rogue in the first brand new X-Men movie that Marvel is doing the next couple of years. They haven't completely confirmed who's going to be on that initial roster of X-Men characters. My guess is it'll be pretty close to the original classic roster. Kind of like their spin on X-Men First Class, like doing the original team, but doing it in a slightly different way that none of the movies have done it before. When Dar-Benn is saying this is just the beginning, she's basically talking about using this power across the entire universe to the benefit of the Kree race. The whole idea is that she's using that other Miss Marvel bangle, which they're supposed to confirm are a combination of Quasar's quantum bands from the comics and the Kree negabands. There were a bunch of theories about this when the Miss Marvel series came out, and I was doing videos for that a couple years ago. But at the time, Marvel never really said anything about it. Obviously now, because they were saving a lot of that backstory for the Marvels movie, like, oh, this is what was going on with them the whole time. You are all correct. Supposedly, they're also supposed to explain some of what's going on with Shang-Chi's 10 Rings of Power, and that's supposed to have some connection to the movie in some way. I think it's supposed to be different from their comic book origin. Notice when she activates the bangle, you see a bunch of those space portals open. They're also supposed to explain how all these space portals work and where they came from, like who started using them, how they got started. James Gunn mostly used them for comedy during Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But I think part of the idea, like you see later in the trailer here, where she's opening these portals across space, like normal portals that should only take you across this single universe that they're in, the 616 universe. Something about the way she's using the bangles, like there's some power interaction, and it opens portals through different universes. Like you see a crack here in the other universes on the side when Monica Rambeau is talking about this other universe. And it almost looks like the way she goes down in the movie, like you see her just full of power, like she keeps absorbing people's powers. That's why she says that Captain Marvel's attacks only make her stronger. So the whole idea is that Captain Marvel can't beat her by just punching her out. It just makes her stronger. And it looks like Monica Rambeau uses her power to try and close the gap, like stop the incursion from happening, and that might be how she winds up getting stuck in the other universe at the end of the movie. Because I actually think, early theory, they actually put part of the post-credit scene of the movie in this trailer, and it's this scene here where she's asking, how did we get here? There's another person in a white uniform that seems like she's also from Nick Fury's Saber space station, but I think this is in the other universe, and I think this is meant to be Monica Rambeau's mother, who became Captain Marvel in her universe, just like in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Look at the hand here, then look at Monica's face. Would it not be her mother? Like, why would she have that reaction, and why would this person be wearing a cape if they didn't have powers? Something about space capes always screams that it's a special character, like it's not just some regular character, like some regular tech walking around. I did a video about one of the last trailers where they're actually teasing legit X-Men, like, wait to see what comes next, with highlighting the X character, like X as in X-Men. They also showed a version of this scene, so I think we're gonna see some X-Men in this actual scene. Like, it's part of the post-credit scene. There's only supposed to be one for the movie. And I think the idea is that the universe that Monica Rambeau winds up getting stuck in is a universe where the X-Men exist. And we'll just see one of those X-Men characters in this post-credit scene, and it'll be sort of like a teaser for Deadpool 3. This scene of Nick Fury talking to someone saying, "What are you prepared to do?" is him talking to Monica Rambeau. There are a couple of jokes between them on the Saber space station too, because it seems like she's been working for him on that space station since the events of WandaVision. Like, that was what that WandaVision post-credit scene was teasing. Someone wants to meet with you. Someone who was a friend of your mother. Oh yeah, it's Nick Fury way up top in the space station. When Captain Marvel says, "I'm invincible," I think that's meant to dovetail with the whole idea that Dar-Ben can just absorb any power that she throws at her. Like, you might think that you're invincible, but your power only makes me stronger. To be fair though, we actually did see somebody kill Captain Marvel, but was during What If Season 1, and it was the Infinity version of Ultron that basically just pounded her so hard that she never got up. Also notice in this final fight scene where they're all three of them fighting her, she's also got both bangles on her hands, so at some point she manages to steal Miss Marvel's bangle too, giving her even more power. That's probably how she's able to absorb all their power attacks. During the last part of the trailer, they have that text that says, "Be there for the moment that changes everything." Then they show Monica Rambeau in what I think is that post-credit scene looking at a version of her mother. I think that's her seeing the X-Men characters too. Like, that's the moment that they're teasing based on all the previous trailers. Like the text they used last time, "Be there for the moment that comes next," as in X-Men. They show some of the scrolls in the background here. They're actually going to be having that peace summit that they mentioned at the end of Secret Invasion. They kind of teased that at the end of that. They released a preview of the current Skrull Emperor, Drojit, that they talked about during the Secret Invasion series. He had like a separate colony on a separate planet that wasn't part of Earth. There was like this whole separate sect of Skrulls. I think the idea is that they're the ones that are still fighting the Kree. And because the Kree-Skrull War has been going on for hundreds of years, they're trying to broker peace between them during the events of this movie. Then they confirm all of our Thor theories about the cameo in the movie, like the character that shows up, "I called a friend," showing up on the back of her ship. We see Valkyrie talking to them in her suit, like the suit that she wears when she's being normal king of Asgard. Normally when she's sitting around day to day, she doesn't wear her armor, she wears an actual business suit. And when she's telling Captain Marvel that she doesn't have to stand alone, that just meant to highlight the idea that they're going to form the new Avengers team in the next couple of years. Reminding you because they use the Avengers theme song at the end of this trailer right after she says that. There's a bunch of Easter eggs and stuff that they reference in the trailer, so if there's any you think you spotted that I didn't talk about in this video or in previous videos, just write it below in the comments. A lot of theories out there too about which X-Men that we might see during the movie, so we'll see what they wind up actually doing. Like I said, my review video will be up on Wednesday, and then my post-credit scene video should be up on Friday after my Loki finale video. There is a lot of really big stuff coming up, and really good news, supposedly What If Season 2 is going to be released by the end of this year, or at least the first episode will be released by the end of this year because it'll be a weekly release. Click here for my Marvels video, post-credit scene, and Easter eggs. I'll update the link as soon as I post those videos later this week, and click here for my Loki Season 2 Episode 6 finale video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.